Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
From the Keith Winston Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Hour Media presents Is This Real? Tonight, we will discuss Antifa. Where did they start? Where are they going? And now, from Multimedia Mafia, our guest host, the Don at the desk, Anthony.
Welcome, everybody. The voice you are now hearing is not JC3. JC3 and Big Joe are out this week. They're on a little vacation. I'm the Don at the desk from Multimedia Mafia. It is Anthony, and I am here hosting this week's episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Thank you, Mr. West. Mr. West, how you doing, brother?
That's the second Jurassic Park reference that you've made in the last 5 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't been counting.
The voice you are now hearing?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely one.
Yeah.
And to my right is the mighty RoadBlock. Say what's up, brother.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody?
And a special guest making her podcasting debut across the glass from me, Miss Sarah Friedman. Hey, Sarah.
Hello, darling. Thank you for having me.
You got to speak up a little bit more, honey.
I said, thank you, darling. Thank you for bringing me to the booth.
You're very welcome. Well, you have a very special tie to tonight's topic, and we're going to be talking about tonight's topic. We're talking about Antifa.
Antifa.
Right.
They are special.
Do you know what Antifa is, Eric?
Anti-fascist.
Go on. That's the first part.
Yeah.
10 fucking points. Look at the big brain on Eric.
The big brain.
Yes, it's anti-fascism. That's where it starts. Antifa has always kind of been around, but we hear about it now more than ever in light of the protests over the last 4 or 5 years.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean,
give or take.
yeah, I mean, we keep hearing Antifa versus Antifa this, Antifa that, marches and protests and cities burning, Antifa. That's what we're getting a lot of now. But Antifa is not it's not a group; it's an idea. What it is now, maybe people are mistaking that idea now because they see like, oh,
I thought it was a group.
Yeah, they think it's a group now, but it's not. It's an idea. Like, it's anti-fascist. I mean, the earliest roots of Antifa dates back to World War II, after Benito Mussolini united Italy under like a fascist regime. In the mid-20s, actually, anti-fascist movements surfaced in Italy and other places around the world.
And then I'm guessing then Germany, because
You couldn't really. I mean, maybe like small groups of people, but not much.
They started in 1920s, 1930s against Mussolini, the black shirts.
The what?
The black shirts.
Black shirts?
Black shirts, brown shirts, depending.
Oh, okay.
Against Mussolini. That's really where it starts. And then it's against, they mostly were founded against the Nazi Party. And that's a lot of where the violence should have started, they believe. And I'll talk to you about that later.
Yep. I mean, it's sources saying that the idea of Antifa in the United States, it sees itself as the successor to anti-Nazi activists of the 30s. And
punch Nazis in the face.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Hashtag
they
punch
should
Nazis
have.
in the face.
But they held back, and they were they believed that they were way too nice to the Nazi Party. That's where a lot of their anger comes from now, I feel. Right.
Well,
I've been told.
I mean, you might be right about that, but I mean, like, I think now that it's I think like any idea that's been around for a long time, an idea gets bastardized and it evolves and it changes. And although the idea of like anti-fascism is true, or true to its core, the way of handling and getting that idea of anti-fascism has changed. And I think that's where we're at with Antifa now. I mean, we're going to go deeper into this, obviously. Josh, why don't you give us a little? Why don't you give us a little bit about Antifa?
A little tidbit.
First of all, stop stealing my stuff. No, I can do a quick little thing about the etymology and pronunciation. The English word Antifa is basically a loan word from the German Antifa, where it is a shortened form.
Antifa.
I can't speak.
Shortened
form of the word.
I apologize, Germany.
Yeah, seriously. And it was between 1932 and 1933, as some reports, or even earlier because of World War II. It was a short-lived group which was inspired for the wider Antifa movement in Germany. The German word Antifa itself first appeared around 1920 to 1930, and the long form anti-fascist, if I'm saying that right, was borrowed from the original Italian anti-fascisti, or anti-fascist. And I believe there is Oxford Dictionaries placed Antifa on the short list for the word of the year in 2017, and stated that the word emerged from a relative obscurity to become an established part of the English lexicon over the course of 2017.
Okay. Thank you for that.
So are they like anti-government?
Not so much.
See,
It, to a degree, depends, because the ideology does range. Some of the information given is that the people that involved in the movement tend to hold anti-authoritarian, anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, and anti-state views.
yeah. So it's like some sects, I guess, or some groups who claim that some people who like the Antifa or anti-fascism ideology also believe that government's just bad all around. Less government, the better.
So honestly, that's an anarchist at ideology at its purest, pretty much.
Not really, because anarchy means spreading. It's chaos for the sake of chaos.
I thought it was just like literally like I thought it was like anti-government to its core without like any rules whatsoever.
Do you know? It's basically the difference between agnostic and atheism. Agnostic means you can't disprove or prove whether or not there is.
I thought agnostic meant that like you believe in a God, but like you just don't know. You don't believe in like certain religion.
Okay, so I'm agnostic, and that means I can't prove there is a God. I can't disprove there is a God, but I'd like to think that there is something, right? It's really basically your own thoughts.
Is God out there?
And so, atheist means there's just nothing. And you are dead set. There is nothing. So that's basically the difference between anarchy and. Like, does that make sense?
In a way, I see.
I mean, I like the analogy to it.
That's
it's
the
like
difference.
me.
It's close,
it's
but
like
not it.
it's like me not believing in God and you believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's
In
like
a
that.
sense,
Yeah.
Like Josh should be more of the anarchist. Like, I'm doing it for the sake of just doing it, and I'm creating chaos. And you would be more of the, I'm a stout believer. Or rather, an Antifa would be like, I don't know if
I can't prove it, but I can't disprove it.
Right. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I don't like it. But
not
it's
gonna
only
cause
certain
chaos.
people who. There's only certain people who use this ideology who think that extreme, and I think there is a very big distinction and important thing to know that Antifa is usually an extreme left group of people, like the far left, right?
Like radical left.
Like exactly radical left, and like the Democratic Party is the party of the left, right? You have the Republicans and the Democrats. Democrats are left, Republicans are right. Conservatives and liberals and conservatives, rather. Let me reverse that. So you have the Democratic left liberals, Republican right conservatives. But even further down the line, if you were to put this on a line, on the far left, all the way at the left would be Antifa, anti-fascist. And opposite of that, all the way at the right, would be something like Nazis. Right?
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was like you would have fascism at its most extreme,
Well, yeah.
towards its left, and then at the right, I thought it was like extreme, like communism or some sort
No,
of
no,
shit,
no,
or
no.
just like anarchy.
Fascism is the absolute right.
Fascism is the absolute right. Yes.
I'm trying.
And then anti-fascism, Antifa would be the absolute left.
Yeah.
So
It's
fascism
just
would be all the way at the right, and then
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
guessing anarchy would be all the way at the left.
No, Antifa
Yes.
would be all the way at the
Well,
left.
Antifa actually is the second to the left.
But then
listen-
where would you place?
Anarchy is after.
See, it's
anti-fascism.
like trying to.
because that's like anarchy is anti left or
Well,
right.
no matter what on that scale, no matter what extreme to the left or right,
Anarchy is up here.
it's still like chaos at its most towards whatever degree. No matter what side of the scale you're
Anarchy?
looking at it.
Anarchy is at a pyramid. Is it the pyramid? This is the right. This is the left. Fascists are here. Anti-fascists are on the right. Anti-fascists are on the left. Fascists are on the right.
I mean,
Anarchy is over the top. They hate everybody.
well, when it comes to like plotting a geopolitical graph.
Plotting a Jew. Got it.
Yeah, no, huh? When it comes to like plotting a geopolitical graph
I heard that.
and figuring out like who goes where, short end of the stick is very simple. Antifa, anti-fascism. Fascism is what the Nazi Party was founded on,
Yeah, pretty much.
right? So obviously,
Extreme, like nationalism.
right, but here's the weird part:
all
they're
that.
both extremes.
Yeah.
Right. It's like if I guess the idea is you have to combat evil with evil, right? In a weird sense. So
I mean, I understand that, but it's again, to my morals, that's just not right.
okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to argue that. I mean, your morals are your morals, but I'm just trying to put it into like perspective, like.
No, yeah, like grand perspective, of course, like. What it is, like from outside looking in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or outside, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, let's jump to like modern day stuff, right? In 2017,
Yes.
Antifa, members of the group, people who share this ideology, they marched in Charlottesville, Virginia, right? They were condemning racism and they were counter-protesting a lot of people when they wanted to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee. They were there, and you had a lot of the people who were there who wanted to keep the statue. Like, there's a very famous photo. It's a lot of white men with pitchforks and torches. They were there marching to keep the statue, and some of those people were members. Well, I'm not gonna.
It was a KKK rally, actually.
I don't think it was a KKK rally. It was a protest.
KKK that gathered to protest the
I
taking
think-
down of the statue.
I think some members there were members of the KKK. Some people there were members of the KKK.
I was under the impression. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I think it was more like people who were there who wanted to leave the statue
There's
up.
definitely members of the KKK there.
Yeah,
A lot.
I believe that too. I think
The
you're
Klan.
absolutely right. Yeah, the Klan
The
was
Klan
there.
was there
but
in
like,
number.
But think of it like the Klan stands for what? A lot of racism ideas.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Extreme.
In America, you're allowed to be a racist. This is the land of the free. If you choose to feel that way, that's your choice. Now, they chose to want to have the,
Ideology pushed.
no, they wanted the statue of Robert E. Lee to stay. And you had people show up, anti-fascist people, Antifa, show up and went, no, we condemn this. It's racist. It needs to come down.
So
And
then wait. So how does the Klan relate to fascism?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
the idea of racism, the idea of, the Confederacy of the United States and stuff like that. What's up?
The definition of Antifa
Right.
is basically anything against oppression. So, Antifa is against racism, neo-Nazis, bullying, anything that's keeping the man down.
Or any man. Yeah.
Any man down.
Oh, okay.
It's like Antifa is an extreme ideology. They extremely believe that racism is bad. Oppression is bad. And they go to the extreme to make sure that does not happen.
Now that protest, we
Is
know.
what Antifa is, as far as I have been able to figure out.
Now we know that protests turned violent because James Fields plowed his car through the crowd of protesters and killed Heather Heyer.
That's the video that went viral, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in a red car or something?
Something like that. Now, James Fields says, that there's conflicting arguments saying he is a member, is not a member of Antifa.
Yeah, because I saw, back when I was on social media, I think I remember seeing that some people were trying to say that he was part of the Klan or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He was part of something.
There's the argument, but we don't know. Like, it's never been totally confirmed, or there's been arguments for it and against it.
He got arrested or he got killed?
He was arrested for it, James Field.
Yeah, he was driving.
But he never
killed
confessed to any of that, that he was part of any organization or anything.
Not to my I haven't done the research into that, but I've read conflicting theories on the internet, like he was a member of Antifa, and then someone's like, no, he wasn't. He was a Proud Boy.
I gotta say, I don't think it was. I think it was purposely held back because they could not protect him in prison.
It could have been.
As far as I've been able to find research on, they will not release which side he's on to protect his life in prison.
Here's something also happened in January of 17. I'm sorry. Not January 17, excuse me. Although Antifa did protest Donald Trump's inauguration, January 17. But here's something that does kind of upset me when it comes to Antifa. Before we jump to our break in a moment. Antifa protested the appearance of a speaker at the University of California, Berkeley. His name was Milo. I think you can pronounce his name as Yiannopoulos, something like that. It's very long and whatever, a lot of vowels. But Milo is an alt-right speaker, right?
He's
he stands for the right idea,
conservative,
very conservative. Some people call him a neo-Nazi.
Okay, I was about to say, but is he to the point where he's an actual racist or something?
An alt-right, it's out there. It's right. It's very right. And the University of Berkeley, California, Berkeley, what do you call it? Had him there, like he was going to be a speaker at this.
Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
Being right-wing does not mean you're racist.
No, absolutely not.
So let's make sure that that's clear.
No, I agree.
Because the way we just said that, it's not just because you're right-wing does not mean you're
a Nazi or a neo-Nazi.
I just want to make that clear.
No, you're 100% right.
Absolutely not be racist.
No, but when you said it was far out there,
he's an alt-right. Yeah,
alt-right could just be very conservative views that the government does not get involved in people's lives.
Could be. I mean, we don't know what you said because
I'm just saying that's more like probably what he was.
We don't know what his speech was going to be because Milo wasn't able to do the speech because Antifa protested and kind of shut that stuff down, which to me is censorship.
Yes.
Because just because you don't like something being said doesn't mean you have the right to turn it off when it's a public thing like that. You know what I mean?
No, of course. That's at that point. That's where it becomes if you're gonna get justice technical into it, then at that point that's unconstitutional.
Yeah,
I would think so.
In the privacy of your own home, you can turn the television off, right? If you don't like what you're hearing on the radio, turn the knob on the radio off. Listen to something else. But when it's something that is you have a speaker who's brought in to speak his ideas for whatever reason on whatever he's speaking about, you have the right to protest. You don't, in my opinion, you don't have the right to get in someone's face and make them shut it off.
I mean, at that point, I would say that the school had to handle that a lot better than instead of just
I agree with you.
dismissing that a lot.
I think
in general, they could have had their protests, whatever, but they still could have just
I agree.
Kick those guys out when it comes to actually having that that speaker come in, because at that point, if you're looking at it from the bigger picture too, the school's spending their money to get that person in there to talk to people.
That's why UC Berkeley did it, because they wanted to make sure that their students get all the facts. UC Berkeley is mostly left wing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their students are left wing. A lot of their students probably wouldn't have even shown up.
Yeah.
But they did it so that they have a well-rounded curriculum.
Yes.
On the point of this, though, Trump, this is he designated Antifa a terrorist organization and did not designate the KKK until he got a massive amount of pushback from society in general.
Like petitions and stuff.
There had to be 4 petitions to get the KKK to be a terrorist group after he made Antifa a terrorist group. That, to me, feels like
what's crazy is that I think...
thing.
What's crazy is thinking like 2020, I think it was just that like lynching became an official hate crime, and I was just like, wow, bro.
It just
like,
became official hate crime.
I'm like, wow. Really?
It's still on the books. It
really?
was still on the books in 2 states up until 2020. You could still lynch somebody.
All right, I do want to take on. I do want to make a comment on the what you just said about Donald Trump.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, you're not wrong. In May of 2020, Donald Trump said that the U.S. government will designate anti-fascist group Antifa as a terrorist organization. There's a reason for that, though. It's because Antifa can get violent, like I said before.
But so does the KKK.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong, but 2 wrongs don't make a right.
But what I was saying was,
and that's
you're saying Antifa should not have gotten in the way of UC Berkeley's the thing.
Yeah.
But don't say an organization that has the right to say what it believes, protest, but then make them a terrorist for protesting.
Right.
Whereas the Ku Klux Klan has totally been violent, and they get their permit for the city to go and protest in the city.
Right. Well, the difference is,
I was just saying it was.
I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but the difference is, like I said before, fight evil with evil. The extreme right can get violent, so can, and this is the problem with Antifa, is they get violent. During that protest, they wore masks, black makeup, black everything, and they threw Molotov cocktails and smashed windows at the student center where the event was going to be held. Protest peacefully, I don't have a problem. You could have 10,000 people.
And this was still in 2017, right?
This was 2017, and then
that's part of their 6-prong.
Because I remember there was like, I think there was some type of. I feel like every year there was some type of someone died, and it triggered like a lot of protests. But I remember
that was
like,
George Floyd.
Well,
2017.
Actually,
well, I don't think was Floyd 17.
Nah,
no.
It has it really been that long?
Wait,
I don't
it was
think so.
It was around there, but it is never. It has been publicly a fact that Antifa.
No, he died 2020.
Antifa was not part of the George Floyd protests in the city, any of that violence. They were not a part of it.
We can talk about that in a second, but we got to take a quick break.
Sorry about that.
No, I just want to say the Donald Trump making the it was introduced into the Senate July 18, 2019, and that was 116th Congress. A resolution calling for the designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, resignation number 279. That is what happened. It was put there, and it was just it was just introduced into the Senate. The Senate.
The FBI declared them a terrorist organization.
Well, no, it was introduced into the Senate, so it hasn't been passed as law or anything like that.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to keep this Antifa talk up.
Are you looking for a vinyl LP or cassette tape? 45 RPM? If so, you've come to the right place. Golden Spins. We have thousands of titles in stock and ready to ship. Call us at 862-336-2275 or go to our store at discogs.com/seller/goldenspins/profile. we can find whatever you may need. We proudly accept PayPal and every major credit card.
And we are back. This is This Real?
Is this real?
That's right. Tonight's topic is Antifa. Before we took our commercial break, we were talking about the difference between the KKK and Antifa as far as being classified as a terrorist group. And I think the one big difference between the two is I think the KKK always has the First Amendment as their kind of like ace in the hole.
The KKK killed people.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's a hate group. We know this.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. They
You're absolutely right.
Put people on the back of their car and drive down the road with
yes.
them. Like
things like that have
hung people.
Yes,
bro.
Things like that have happened in this country's history.
Have happened?
Yes.
Are happening.
Okay. Things like that happen. And the difference is
unfortunately.
The difference is those are like.
What about the guy in was it North Carolina that they literally chased down and shot because they thought he was robbing somebody's house? He was just taking a jog. They were KKK members.
You would have
that was
to
2018.
I have to look that up. Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. Well, like I said before, in America, you could say that you're a racist. You can say that anything you want. And that's the freedom you get under the First Amendment. You're allowed to say whatever you want. Antifa also says the same thing. It's my amendment. I have the First Amendment backing me up. I can say whatever I want. But when they don't like something, they protest, and it can get violent if what they're saying is not being not that they're not being heard. But
if they don't agree with it.
Not just if they don't agree. Like, you're hearing me, but you need to do something.
Maybe you should listen to their points of attack, they call it. Well, I don't know what they call them.
Well, I'm trying to segue into that because I know that's...
well, that's what I was trying to say, because I don't think that you're understanding their amount of violence and when they use their violence.
Well, here's my problem with it. They shouldn't get violent at all. No group.
That's not true. What about Malcolm X?
No group.
Black Panthers.
No group should get violent at all. None. Doesn't matter where you fall on the political spectrum. No one has the right.
I don't think the Black Panthers are violent.
Oh, baby.
Nobody has the right to get. Nobody has the right to get violent.
I don't know.
I think that's when it comes to the end. No one has the right to get violent and hurt anyone based on my belief versus your belief.
Okay, that's right there. Why what they are saying. They have the right to do whatever they want.
Right.
They are human.
Right.
Consequences come with your actions.
Yes, I understand that. But again, no one, the problem is nobody, whether you're left or right, has the right to sit there and go, I don't like this thing. You need to change it. Well, excuse me. Let me put it like this. I think the comedian Tom Segura said it best. You have the right to feel upset. You have the right to state your opinion, and you have the right to be heard. You have no right to expect that anything will come from that opinion. And when they don't get what they want, that's when the violence happens. And that's when you see stuff like what happened in Berkeley. We don't want this guy here. You need to take him off.
Well, I know that they were like in the
and the college said no. We need to have him. He's a speaker.
What was it in the BLM protest too? They were like lighting shit on fire too.
Well, not one of the people at the BLM.
Because I was seeing. They were
not Antifa people. That was the news telling you they were Antifa.
That's very true.
That's different. You cannot believe the news.
Here's
the
problem.
It was social media, so I don't know
exactly
how.
That's the problem.
So I don't know exactly how accurate it was because
you're absolutely right.
From the most part, like one person's video, it looked like that person that tweeted that or wherever that platform was, it looked like they was there. And pretty much, and it's showing you in broad, like pretty much right then and there that like some shit is going down, and I'm just like, yo, bro, like. So obviously, like they going down with this, just referring back to like these protests that was going on. What was it? Just last year, the year
last
before?
couple of years, yeah.
Pretty much, from my understanding of it, it was they were peaceful until these people were showing up fucking shit up and lighting shit on fire, and that's when they were
calling themselves Antifa.
Calling themselves Antifa.
But they were really KKK members.
Calling themselves Antifa. That's
trying to give Antifa.
We don't know that.
That part I don't know about.
I'm saying, see how I spun that?
No, I know that.
That's what the news,
that
media does.
Oh, I agree with you
I
there.
could say to you right now, it was a KKK member that went in there, and that's like everything.
You could say that, right? That's
nobody actually knows.
Right, and that's the thing. You have these protests that get violent, and we have
the
no.
FBI and the CIA have come to. They released a public service announcement saying nobody part of the Antifa movement started or was the catalyst for any of the violence at the Black Lives Matter.
I'm gonna need to see that.
So it was the feds themselves, because who put them bricks there?
Yes.
Right. Well, that's the big thing. Yes.
Who put them bricks there?
Were not okay. The video that Trump posted had to be taken down because it was said to be.
I don't know what video that is, but
Trump tweeted a video of bricks that had names on them for certain people's houses.
I don't know about all that. I know that they was just like seeing like
when
drone photos of just like
people dropping off blue totes full of construction
those
bricks.
Things exactly. That was not a verified clip, and he had to remove it because the FBI looked into it, and it was not. And this was said by the FBI and the CIA, and I got this information from the BBC, CNN, New York Times, which are all left publications for the most part, but also it was from Fox News.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
I think anytime you get these protests that turn violent, someone's going to scream, it was Antifa. Someone's going to scream, it was the radicals. It was this group. It was that group. The problem is you have no way to verify who's the one, excuse me, who's the one throwing bricks, who's the one putting the bricks down, cement-filled bottle waters of bottles, Molotov cocktails. We have no idea who they are, which is why when this stuff was happening.
Another thing is the KKK has a leader.
Well, that too, but
Antifa does not have any one leader.
The New York City Police Commissioner said these were criminals.
Yes.
Doesn't designate which group they belong to. They are criminals, and that's the problem. You can have a peaceful protest, and when it turns violent, the people protesting, it's going to look like they're the ones getting violent. But who are really the ones doing it? Is it really people who claim this, I have the Antifa ideology? Is it someone there to make it look like it was Antifa?
They could have the Antifa ideology.
Who
Doesn't
knows?
mean they are Antifa.
Now, Sarah, you're absolutely right. Now, Sarah, you brought up the idea that they have a attack plan?
Okay, I said that wrong. I apologize. They have a three-prong approach, and then under the three-prong approach, they have a six-prong approach. Okay? So the three-prong approach is for their everyday, every Antifa group around the world. They have no one leader whatsoever, because that means that one leader means one belief system, which is fascism. So you cannot have one leader. Okay? Now, they're... I'm trying to find
So it's fractions of Antifa?
It's a belief system.
It's a belief system. It's not a group.
It's like having a religion. You choose. I'm sorry. It's not like a religion. It's
no, in a way,
but
it is.
A
You
group.
choose.
But it is a group though, because
you choose this ideology.
Because a group of people come together to follow this ideology.
They have small factions of them.
So it's fractions, right?
It's like saying I believe in God, but I'm not a Christian.
Exactly.
I believe in God, but I'm not a Jew.
It's like,
you know what I mean? It's like
the Church of Satan. They don't have.
Not really.
A lot of them don't have any temples or churches. A lot of them
that's
don't.
different.
I mean, I don't know about no Church of Satan, man.
Okay, that goes into another place.
Right.
Fuck.
it does. So
I first and foremost to say, fuck that nigga, bruh. Fuck Iblis. Fuck that nigga.
The Church
That's
of
his name.
Satan?
That's his name in Arabic.
Okay, so the Church of Satan
What?
is actually not
Salam
bad.
alaikum.
all right.
And that's
Stop.
where I go?
Just,
Okay.
just. All right. So,
All right,
Sarah,
I'm
where
just
are
gonna
you
put
getting
this out
this?
there.
Where are you getting this from, by the way?
I was about to
Okay,
quote
go
my
into it.
sources.
Go.
So, my sources are as follows. Okay? CNN had some things. The BBC, Fox News, there's As We Know It podcast, and then there was the New York Times for the majority of it, and my cousin, who is a full-fledged member of the Rose Place. I think it's Rose something. Oh, I'm sorry. Which is, I'm not going to get this right. There is a faction in Washington State that is called, I think it's the Rose something faction of Antifa that I have written down, and I can't find the name of it. It's the Rose Place, I want to say. I'm totally wrong on this one, probably. But
Okay. Well,
it is,
keep going.
Okay, so basically, they're supposed to be anonymous. He didn't mind me giving his information because he is well known in the social media world, and so whatever. The three
It's supposed to be
Antifa-
anonymous, but we
He's
putting a whole
I
thing
know.
out there.
He's
doesn't
he's
care.
okay with it. He's okay. He's been arrested for it many times. He puts his face out there to take the blame. He doesn't want his name given, but my cousin, I'll just say that.
Sure.
He's also no longer a acting member because he has a disease and he can't be. So he.
And he's not really welcomed at Yom Kippur.
Oh no! No.
Guess who's not coming to Hanukkah?
Nobody's coming to Hanukkah or Christmas, Hanukkah this year. Okay, so
Mahayim.
I mean, I'll get him a nice festive brick if that's what he wants.
That's not very nice. He's got many of those.
Okay.
Sorry, he likes to make sushi these days. But
All right. Just I want to know what
so,
this
okay, so
prong
the
thing.
three-prong approach. They start with direct action, which is, and I quote, okay, anywhere they can, and any way that they can, they will protect against fascism. That is their direct action approach. That is where most people say that their violence is covered under. They will do whatever they can to prevent fascism. That is their first approach.
Even by violence,
if necessary, but they do say violence is the absolute last resort, unless it is necessary to prevent fascism.
Okay.
They say they are a non-violent group for the majority. Okay, moving on. Second approach: education. They have events, they have talks, they go into their community, they talk to their friends, their coworkers. They go out there to educate people on what fascism is and how to spot it and how to prevent it. Okay?
Wasn't fascism like extreme nationalism and stuff?
It's racism, it's oppression. That's what they believe. Racism and oppression. Okay? And then solidarity, which is they provide support, security, and what is the word? They align with their like-minded movements, like the BLM movement, like any anti-racist, anti-government, oppressive group, like against the KKK. They will align, support, and provide security for anti-fascist movements or racist movements. So that is a three-prong approach. Direct action, education, and solidarity.
And you know what that is? You know what that is? That mindset of direct action, education, and solidarity. That is any sort of cult. When you break any cult down, it comes down to those three things.
Actually, that's government too, honey.
No, it's government too. It's anything, right? It's
Right,
any
but
way to control a group. You educate them, you make them do shit,
and that is my
and
point
you make
as to
them
why
feel like you know what you're talking about.
I completely agree with you. And I agree with a lot of the ideologies of Antifa at its core.
Right.
But when you get to its extremists, like religion, the core of religion can be morality. But when you get to the extremes, that's where you lose me. That's why I'm independent. I'm not a right-sider. I'm not a left-sider. Because when you get extreme, you lose me. You should lose anybody. And that is why Antifa, I feel, has bad sides and good sides. You know what I mean? That's why
I mean, you could look at anything and go, okay, I see the good here and I see the bad here.
Right.
But I think, except
core.
for Nazis, I don't think I can look at a Nazi and go, you know what I see here? I see something. Let me tell you what I like about Nazism.
They started out as trying to rebuild their country.
They had really nice hats. Their dress wear was spectacular.
Just fuck them.
Did you see the cars they drove in? Those were some nice rides. Everything else.
Terrible electrical systems. Have you ever tried to work on an Audi?
Okay.
Or V-dub?
Oh my God! But my point is, it's hard. It's easy to sit there and go good and bad over anything.
Right.
But here's the weird part, and I just did this twice, and I welcome anybody out there who's listening to this podcast to try it yourself. Open any web browser and type in Antifa.com and tell me where it leads you. Because I just typed in Antifa.com, and it takes me to whitehouse.gov. Why is that?
Because the government is a fascist movement to them.
But no. My point is, if you own the domain and you own the website, or you own the rights to the web address.
Nobody owns Antifa.
No, I understand that, but someone does own.
Somebody took it out, and they took it out to point out that the U.S. government is fascist.
Right, but the White House.
That's why
owns the Antifa.com.
They just linked it to it.
Yeah, well, why?
Because they're fascists.
But my question is, I can't link these two things together because I don't own the website. They have to do it. The White House has to do it. Because they're the ones who are linking it to their webpage. They have to approve that. Unless there is some backdoor.
Anonymous. That's anonymous.
Unless there's some backdoor computer hacking thing that they're doing, and you can just put one. I could type in.
Okay, if you could take over an entire pipeline for the Northeast, you think you can't connect it to the White House?
You are going on to some wacky topics now.
Is this real or is this real?
That's true. My point is, it's
you're telling me if you can hack into an entire gas line, you can't connect the WhiteHouse.gov?
I'm sure you
I'm
can.
just asking you that question.
But why would the Catholic Church? Why would the?
Oh, help me.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just get on to the 6 points after that?
Yes. Go ahead. Okay.
Let's move on because I just went.
If that's the case, then I challenge anyone out there to take the.
You challenge me to a duel?
No. I challenge anyone out there to take the Vatican's website and link it to browsers. Go ahead. I want to see that happen. I want to see someone type in browsers.com and it takes to the church's website. Browsers?
Yeah.
Porn.
I'm done with you. Okay.
Not sponsored, by the way.
No, I wish.
I could get you probably Eve's. What is that?
What are their 6 points of attack?
Okay.
Please.
Their 6 points of attack are a little bit muddy here. Okay, so poor Joshua needs me to not talk anymore. I'm sorry.
No. He's got a headache.
Extra
He's fine.
strength Advil to knock me the hell out. I apologize for not being too active on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, Josh is
I
suffering from a
feel
wee
awful.
migrine right now.
He needs an Advil, and I can't have it.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you guys continue.
Hit the 6 points, please.
Okay. So basically, their 6 points are very hard to point down exactly. I was in this conversation with my cousin, and he talks a lot. So I'm going to just give you what he gave me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
go
not
for
all
it.
6, and it goes on tangents.
Okay.
Okay? So basically, I'm just going to get into this part. There's 6 points of attack. All are around the fact that each member. So basically, my information is about the Antifa faction out of Washington State, the ones that have created a portion of the state that is non-government run, and they've taken over in Washington right now.
And it looks like fucking Mad Max. Go on.
Yes, it is insane. I do not condone it. but I don't think that it's wrong on a lot of levels. I think that it's what humans should be doing. I don't think we should be governed ever, but that's my thoughts. But we should all have morals. But
we're only governed by God.
We are governed by our own moral code.
By God.
We'll move on from
That is
this.
a different podcast. Move on.
Okay. Now, Antifa does not have a leader, because if you have a leader,
yes,
then you have somebody's thoughts, and then you're going to be corrupt. That is action 1. No leaders. You can have factions, and you all act as your own leaders. Everybody's ideas are heard and then voted on. Everybody's actions are acted on. Nobody gets one say over another. The minute you are having one person's ideas be more important than another, that is when you are no longer Antifa. You are a cult, or you are something other than Antifa.
So no strong leadership.
Right. Because that is fascism. Okay? So each member has to put in a certain number of hours a week with community service, with they actually have a wave of snack black shirts. So what happens is when they go to a protest, they either cover their face with a black helmet or black makeup. They wear black head to toe because that promotes anonymity from being ID'd and from getting arrested and from the cops. And it also shows that it's not just one person. It is for the rights of everybody. Color doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Religion, nothing matters. Gender doesn't matter. This is for the people and for the rights of people, and oppression is wrong. That is why they wear black head to toe.
Okay.
They could be, and most of the time it has been a lot of men on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
In the recent years, especially since Trump has come into office, the Washington State group has come out and said that a lot more women have joined because Trump is anti-women. This is what they said, not what I feel. I'm just saying, grab him in the pussy was a little bit anti-women. So they have joined more, and they are on the front lines with them.
Okay.
So they do a lot of things. They will provide security for Black Lives Matter movements. They were there when the trials for what was his name? I can't remember.
Chauvin?
Yes, they were there to protect people when he was when they were protesting against him outside the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And they have snack waves to give snacks to the protesters. They have people that come in and switch out with protesters.
So they're a catering service too.
You're a douche. They are there to be. If you broke it down to their absolute core, they have good ideals. Once you get them together, and once they get violent, they shit the bed. That is where it's at.
Okay. Is that the end of what your cousin said though? I mean,
no.
Okay, he just kept going.
Oh yeah, but I was just giving you where they are. That's got the six.
That's
the 6 ideals all kind of got in there.
Yeah.
I gave you the shortened version.
I was about to say it seems like this is short and sweet and condensed because
I gave you a 4-hour conversation into 2 minutes because
that's very impressive.
Okay, so
he's a lot like me.
So you can so
on a lot of levels, but in a lot I don't know in that.
So everybody pitches in.
Yes.
Everybody wears black.
No, when they protest.
When they protest.
Yes.
There is no one leader. Everyone's voice is heard. And we switch people out during the protests, tap out, some people ride the bench, and then we provide snacks. That seems 6 to me.
Right, basically, for the love and the health and the caring of their people.
And everyone's
mankind.
And the ideas are based on what their personal morals are. But what
No, not their personal morals.
But it doesn't make sense why a group of people that follow an ideology don't have someone that to guide them a certain way.
If you have somebody who's going to guide you, that person eventually is going to be corrupt. Give me an organization that has somebody in the forefront that has not become corrupt.
The Buddhist monks with the Dalai Lama?
You really want to go there?
Were you going to shit on the Dalai Lama?
I mean...
Can we not?
I'm not shitting on the Dalai Lama.
I thought he was all peaceful.
He did some things that were some craziness, but he's got a lot of good.
That's off topic.
I'll give him
That's
99.
really off topic.
I'll give him a 99% on the Sarah scale.
How about we not give him anything? Get back to
I'm not
Antifa,
crazy.
please.
Okay. So the whole thing with
Fuck the
Dalai
Pope,
Lama
though.
is 99% good.
okay, but with Antifa.
Fuck the Pope.
Oh, all right,
The
calm
Pope?
down.
You really
Calm
want to
down.
go there?
Yes.
You're
No,
gonna
we
take
don't.
people-
No, we don't. We
No,
don't.
we
I'm going to cut you right there. No.
I mean, I'm Jewish. I really can't say anything, but there's money involved.
Not
Okay.
okay. My point is, so all right. So let me ask you a question. Maybe this question you can. He gave you an answer in that 4-hour conversation.
So
that
are
I'll
they
ask-
still
Oh, I thought both
anti-government?
Hold on. Well, yeah, they're always anti-government, but
It's not so much anti-government; it's anti-oppression.
Okay.
If you have a government, that's fine. It's just when there are people being oppressed.
but here's my thing. Where do you draw the line, right? Because
When your human rights are oppressed.
right, but hold on a second. Human rights are oppressed, but my point is, the line is this, right? The government can make a law. The government can make a law. Person A can go, my human rights are not oppressed with that law. Person B, but they identify with Antifa. They groove with the Antifa logic. Person B goes, no, fuck that. That totally violates my human rights. And they're also Antifa. How do they solve that problem?
They don't.
Like, here's the thing.
What?
You take.
They don't.
Here's
They
a.
are both right.
Here's a. You
That's
can't
what
have
we
both. You
want.
can't have it that way.
Absolutely. That's why Antifa is an ideology.
I'll
not a
give you.
group.
I'll give you a
Doesn't
thing
make
right
sense
now.
to me.
I'll give you a thing right
When it comes to
now.
morality, it's a little bit of a tricky situation because of the fact that even I learned this back in college. When it comes to morals, every single person could be right.
Yeah.
If
I could
there's
literally tell you you're wrong right now, Tony, and then I could be right. And then
Yeah.
you could turn around and say, I'm wrong, and you're right. And then
Yep.
someone else can say, no, you guys are both right.
right,
Everybody has their right to be right.
It's more of a matter of
not right
perspec-
to be right. It's
Well, they have their right to think they're right.
right. That's
it's a matter,
better.
yeah, it's a matter of perspective, really. But at the end,
But
of the day,
that's a dangerous ideology if
It
you
is.
really
It
Yeah.
if you go about that way because I could
extremely dangerous.
think I'm gonna blast you right now in the face
Well, that's
and I
where they
think
come
that's
into
right
their
and
principles.
I think that's right.
And that's where
that's
their
the
principles
problem.
come
There's
in.
no concrete answer
Right.
to that
No
because
death.
people can view it differently.
No death, no oppression, meaning they don't take away their food, water, air,
Right.
freedom, and the right to procreate or speak. I'm assuming these are the things that he outlined for me.
I'm gonna throw something out there.
Okay, the American Antifa movement goes by almost, which is crazy to me. What are they, the colonists or the originalists? What
The
are they?
Pilgrims,
No,
The Mayflower?
no. There's a group.
You attacking the Mayflower?
communists.
No, I have no idea what communists are. Apparently, no. You checkers. There's a
The
group.
Russians.
There's a
No, they were
the
communists.
people that
now
don't
they're not.
agree
I apologize.
with having like IDs and following the government other than the Bill of Rights.
Constitutionalists.
Thank you. I was calling them colonists. Constitutionalists. I can't think.
Wait, what?
I have brain fog.
So you're saying that Antifa follows some of their ideas come from the
I see them
constitutionalists?
as the same as the constitutionalists on a lot of levels.
Constitutionalists.
I found that.
So wait. What's a constitutionalist?
A constitutionalist believes that the Bill of Rights, as it was written, is what we should
That's
follow.
it.
That's it.
And they don't follow any other law.
Nothing else. No amendments. None of the. I am butchering it. Obviously, I'm
Yes,
sure
so
there's
am
some constitutionalists listening to this going, "Fuck you. That's not right." But like, I think at the core, it's like they set down these rules when this country was founded.
But that would make sense with the Constitution. So then why would
Right,
they-
that's what I.
Exactly, but the thing is,
It's been
a
amended over and over
it's-
again.
And it's been said it's a living document, so it can be amended, and that's what bothers me.
It's
about
been
the
amended
Constitution.
19 times, 20 times.
It's
you know.
a living document
They-
for a reason.
Yeah,
Dumb
it's-
fucks come
when
at
it was
me.
when
Come
it
at
was
me, bro.
when it was like first like they forgot all about
I'm
like
sorry. The
they forgot
Constitutionalists
all
make me so angry. It's a living document. Come at me. Tell me I'm wrong.
it's like they forgot all about like slavery like
Oh
that's,
yeah. Oh that.
we should like put that in women's rights like to vote
Oh,
and
we
shit.
can. I can't vote, guys.
But here's my Antifa question out there, people. Say an Antifa, like, okay, they just passed, well, they tried to pass, it got blocked, but you had the abortion bill in Texas.
Oh.
They said that a woman,
It got passed.
it did, but they're taking it to Congress and they're going to see if they can, whatever.
It'll be passed. Yes, it's Texas.
In Texas, they said a woman at 6 weeks of pregnancy
weeks.
cannot have an abortion past that. Now, at 6 weeks of pregnancy,
Most women don't even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks.
correct.
That's craziness.
Most women don't even know they're pregnant after 6 weeks of pregnancy. But in Texas, they passed. They're trying to. It's still up in the air. I didn't read all about it, but they're saying at 6 weeks, no more abortions.
Yep.
Right, and that's super early on. That's like one missed period.
Yep.
So here's my question to the Antifa. Say there's an Antifa group out, two Antifa people walking down the street, and we'll say Antifa person 1, and they're talking about this, goes, I don't think that violates my human right.
No,
and
it's not about
Antifa-
their human rights. That's what you're getting.
Well,
I
here's the thing.
understand.
There's no one in charge to give out the general idea.
Antifa believes in the greater good of human rights.
But
It's
what
not,
is the greater good of human rights
that's
if
what I'm
no one is
saying,
putting it down?
Anthony, it's an. Say I believe I'm an Antifa believer.
Sure.
Right. I believe that. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
But that's not the greater good. That's just your greater good.
No, right. Well, that's where they go wrong, though. So, say I'm an Antifa believer, and you are being racially prosecuted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am there to support, secure, and provide assistance to make sure your oppression isn't happening. If you are fighting for that oppression, if you don't think you're oppressed, we out.
But there could be two people that, okay, say like, let's just look at this logically. How do they plan this shit? Say like
they
it's
find
it's
like-minded.
fractions.
Yes,
No, but
they
listen.
find like-minded people. They gravitate together. They talk about it. They create smaller
like
factions.
pockets of them.
Yes, it's pockets around the country, and they communicate.
I mean, just by logistics, there's got to be someone to go, okay, does everyone have their black shirts? Does everyone's face painted black? There's got to be that
There's
one
not
voice.
An Antifa mother hen.
No, but I'm saying, like, just thinking, like, if they're protesting, protesting still needs. Someone still has to.
Joshua, do you have your snacks, my love?
But no, but just think of it logically. Someone has.
I would be the mother hen. Okay.
Someone has to send out that text like, "Hey guys, Main Street, 9:00 tomorrow morning. Everyone, don't forget your snacks."
They give out roles, but there is no leader.
But someone still has to be the one giving out those roles. They are the de facto.
Choose them. They do them.
They can organize without a leader. It's easy to do that. It's not that hard. If you're going to sit there and be aimless, it's a whole different situation.
To me, you know what?
If you're going to come together and say, "Hey, we want to do this for," I don't know, Joe Schmo who got killed the other day, because some cop who thought he was doing something where he really wasn't, and there's footage, and then there's some outcry, whatever the case is.
Sure.
They'll all come together and they'll talk about it. Then no one has to be appointed as a head leader for that to happen.
I mean, I guess
because there's
like,
groups of people. Look at sometimes like the church events, like your grandmother used to do. Like, was there always someone appointed, or did they work together to do that?
Well, there was someone appointed in charge, and then they delegated, like, okay, we're having the bazaar. Someone needs to call the carnival people. Someone needs to organize the food. Someone needs to get the music.
That's what Antifa does.
But there are people in charge.
There's nobody in charge. They delegate the things. So if we're sitting here, okay, Anthony, we put our hand.
It's like right now, we're designating you as the host because of your ability to talk. Sarah knows something because she has some background with it because of family member who is into this role. Okay. You have Eric who can chime in on things he knows or doesn't know, and then I can chime in on experience because of certain aspects
I just think having no one at the top, even if it's a loose.
But you're the one that just said it.
Power
corrupts.
I know that, but even if it's like you keep this person in check, like a president should be, but
even our system doesn't keep the president.
No, I understand, but let's just listen to me. If we voted you in to do a job, we're gonna follow you. We don't like you. We're gonna take you out.
Too logical for this.
I understand that, but here's my thing. To me, it seems like a slippery slope not to have someone at the top who's getting shit prepared and organized. Number one, and two, if it really does feel. Could be, even if it's that loose of a role. It feels like a headless chicken that's running around. And getting back to your point, Block, about the two people looking like, hey, that person, there's evidence, we're going to go march because that person's being oppressed, and I think we should go. And you can turn around and go, fuck that guy. I don't think he's being oppressed.
No.
He's getting his just due.
You're getting it
now,
wrong.
you and I are both Antifa. Who's right in that situation? We're both right, obviously.
You're wrong because the guy is not saying he's oppressed. Okay.
You're fighting for someone else's rights on someone else's behalf.
You're supporting. You're not fighting for anybody. You are there to support, to give support, give security, and your alliance.
I get that.
That's it.
Okay, but my thing is, I think it spins out too quickly because someone could go, we should go support that person,
let me
and
just
then
say
person
this.
B goes, no, we shouldn't.
Let me just explain to you something. The reason they have more violence today than they've ever had is because they believe that they were too passive with the Nazi Party.
And I do. Yes, I do agree with you on that.
That is exactly why they are so violent today. They feel that if they had been more violent back then, 60,000 Jews would not have been killed.
I get that. I understand
that.
That.
Is their backup.
I understand that, but
and
just
their
put
reasoning behind their
I
violence.
understand that, and
I'm just giving you their words.
I get that, but just put one thing into perspective.
Some people's
just put one thing into perspective, though, and I agree with that idea. Like, had we stepped up and said, "Hey, you can't do this," a lot more people would still be around, and the Holocaust would have been.
Step up until we had some sort of hand in it.
Right? No, I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about
just saying.
But like, just keep this in mind. If you feel like you're being oppressed, and there's a dictator who is running your shit, and like we need to get him out. A lot of times people don't do that because, especially in the 40s in Europe, there was a lot of farmers, and like they had no military training, and the Nazis were an army of people. So if you said, "Hey,
How
no,"
hard is it to make
on
Molotov
meth.
How
What?
How hard is it to
The
make?
soldiers
Molotov?
were on meth.
A lot of meth.
Think of
A lot of coke, a lot of meth.
Forget
a lot
the
of
drugs.
Opiates.
Look what I'll give you a modern day thing. Look what's
Let me
happening.
ask you something.
No, let me finish.
How hard is it to throw a brick?
Hold on, let me finish.
How hard is it to make
Let
a
me
Molotov
finish. I'm
cocktail?
going to give you a concrete example. Look what's happening right now in Afghanistan. The Taliban have taken over. They're a fascist extremist regime, and the people of Taliban who are the people of Afghanistan who are anti-Taliban.
They are giving up the people of Afghanistan.
There are still fighter groups. There are still groups of pockets of freedom
Small
fighters.
ones.
Yeah, they're small.
The rest of them have given up.
But
and
because a war has been declared on them by a terrorist group, they are acting violently, and that's fine in that regard. It's when you're protesting peacefully and then someone throws a brick because you don't like what speaker they invited this week, that's when I'll disagree.
that's not why they throw the brick.
Why do they throw the brick?
It's because the Black Lives Matter movement, let's just use that because that's the most politically charged right now. I know I hear that. I don't know what it this racism has been going on for 250 years in America?
More than that.
How much?
400.
400.
No, I mean like since the Civil War. I'm talking about since the Civil War.
Post-Civil War, when like
Post-Civil
Lincoln emancipated the slaves. Yeah, okay, 250
years?
some years, something like that, yeah.
And it took 2 years just to let the people know that they were free.
What are you talking about 2 years?
The 19th Amendment finally ended up in Texas, where they finally found out 2 years later, and the 19th Amendment was told. That's Juneteenth.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so this has been going on for 250 years, this kind of racism. What is changing with peaceful action? Nothing.
I know.
But racism has to change.
Oh, yes, I'm never going to say no.
So what is going to change it? Violence.
I know.
That is what they think.
Well.
And that is it.
I guess I lean on. I guess I'm more.
I agree with you. Peaceful
I guess I'm more
protest is
Martin
for-
Luther King than Malcolm X on this one. I think hold hands and
I'm gonna
march.
keep my thoughts on that, but I'm just explaining the facts
Okay.
here.
All right. Well, this has been a very interesting topic of tonight's discussion. I know we should have taken a couple more breaks, but we kind of Josh is giving me evil eyes. We ran with it. We just I guess when you're that engaged, you just don't shut up. Oh, of course, there's a lot
I'm
more.
just saying,
to
there's
it.
a lot more to it. I may have butchered a lot of it.
Oh, I know
but
I
it's
did.
all
I fucked
meant-
up.
It's all meant to be against neo-Nazis, racism, oppression,
Okay.
and some of it gets out of hand.
No, yeah, it does.
A lot of it gets out of
So
hand.
so let's go around the room and ask the question:
Is this real?
Is this real? Well, obviously, yes, Antifa is real, but in your heart of hearts, Joshua, are you leaning towards? I guess, is this a fair question or not? Are you more towards Antifa or or like do you see
or
more
anti-fee?
Anti-Antifa.
Are you a fascist or are you anti-fascist?
Are you an anti-fascist?
I'm none of those things, and I've said it before.
And I'll say it again.
I'm under the belief that when America can finally come together, get its head out of its ass, and do everything for the greater good of its people, instead of always going against each other and headbutting and disagreeing for this or that or whatever they might be, or even if it's trivial little shit here and there, and I'm not going to choose a side. I'm not. That's just the way I am. Until, like I said, until America can get its head out of its ass and work together, to me, I don't see a point in choosing.
All right.
Praise
Mr. West?
Joshua.
Mr. West, what do you feel?
No, praise God.
Praise Joshua.
Mr. West, what do you feel?
About?
Are you more pro-Antifa or anti-Antifa?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
you're on the fence this week, Eric?
I guess so.
I don't know if it's a fair question to ask because we know that it's a real thing.
Yeah, but like I don't fuck with I don't fuck with the violent thing.
I'll just let me put like, hey yo, E, you fuck with Antifa or nah, son?
Nah, don't.
I'm sorry, I had to translate it into high.
No, that's you know what?
You don't know how to translate into high.
I'm gonna kill you after this.
He doesn't know how to translate into high.
That's Antifa right there. He's gonna kill me because he doesn't like what I said. He's gonna get violent.
I'm gonna censor him. I'm gonna censor him just like YouTube censored people.
You weren't being oppressed.
Everyone's gonna okay.
You weren't being oppressed, Anthony.
Maybe it's not. Maybe you're not all Antifa. You're just anti-Anthony.
Yeah.
That is
valid.
That's a new movement.
I declare the anti-Anthony movement.
What say you,
I am
Sarah?
the leader.
What say you,
and
Sarah?
I am corrupt as shit. What?
Pro? Against? You fucks with them or nah?
I plead my Fifth Amendment.
Okay. Well, you're right. I'm going to say, like I said before, I think violence for the sake of violence is terrible. An eye for an eye makes the world blind.
I will say that I do not really get behind violence for the sake of violence. I get behind the sake of violence to protect the small people only.
Nah. I think I said
if it is absolutely necessary.
I'm more MLK than X. I'll say it like that. That's
I'm
where
more
I'm
X
at.
than MLK.
Ladies and gentlemen out there, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Is This Real? Next week on Is This Real, hopefully, not hopefully, Dad and Big Joe is Dad. JC3 and Big Joe will be back in the booth with Mr. West and RoadBlock.
That's me.
And you'll be able to have another back to normal kind of
sorry.
conversation. What?
To Joey and your dad for everything that I've said here.
I don't think you need to apologize.
Oh, I'm just going to say
it's your viewpoints.
I respect everything that they feel as well.
Okay. All right.
And their
that's
podcast.
fine.
I'm just putting that out there.
No one's trashing anybody else.
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying, I respect.
No, honestly, I feel like what makes us all come together is just like the fact that
you all love me.
I hate you.
Tony, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, what makes all of us come together, not only our hate for Sir Tony over here, but mostly the fact that we all have different viewpoints and we can all just like sit down and just like at least hear each other out and just like try to see where we're coming from, just to further respect each other, and I guess not, and I guess get under everybody's skin a little bit more, just to like be that person.
Love you too, E.
Yeah. I was just kidding, by the way. That's why I like your podcast.
We hope
it's badass.
Okay, thank you. Love it. Well, we hope that you enjoy this episode. Check me out. I'll be back recording.
I just mooned Tony.
Thank you. Me and RoadBlock will be recording an episode of Multimedia Mafia. Please go check us out.
Please.
We're in our season of music.
Please.
And
Put
we
it
need
in
all
your ear
the
hole.
we need all the loving we can get.
Hashtag obsessed.
Okay, thank you guys. We need all the loving we can get. We'll see you next time on Is This Real? And I guess that's it. We're out.
Hashtag obsessed.
Good night, everybody.
Oyasumi.
Adios.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryuu WST speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.